call this meeting to order. Okay, welcome up guests and public comment. Yes, I see a couple guests back there. Guests want to say anything? No? IDWC I see, right? Okay. Anybody else? No? 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 Very good. All right, board, let's go to the minutes of the last meeting under tab 3.
I have a question on a technicality. I don't know, it's gotta be technicality.
Okay.
At the time, you weren't president, but you noted as president. Then after the meeting, you became president.
Oh,
Try to
Let's
find the
see.
reference to it.
I didn't see that.
On item number 1, call to order.
Oh, the cover page. Well,
I don't know if it's a big deal, but it's not a big deal.
became president further into the meeting. I started as vice president, ended up as president.
That's a Renee question.
Where's Renee or Maria? Renee, tell me, I started off as vice president, it shows the minute shows president.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm here. All right.
you are there.
Come on, Renee.
If y'all can hear me, that means I'm here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That'd be the same for all of us.
Okay,
I think I already presided over the majority of the meeting, right?
yeah,
So, you're the president.
it's just a little thing. Miguel's asking about it, if it's technical. I became president, I don't remember when, little ways into the thing. Pretty quick, item 5, it says, election of board of directors. So is that all right that we list me as president up there at the top?
As far as I don't understand why not, I guess. I don't understand what the question is.
Yeah, ask me.
No, just, you started off at the meeting as president, but we hadn't even made you president yet. But, it's just a technicality, so you can be president for the
But
whole.
the minutes reflect when that transition occurred, right?
So that's all that matters?
Yeah.
That's fine.
It doesn't say that he started out as president. I think Al's point is the pertinent one, that the minutes reflect his anointment as president, and I think it's fine. I agree with Renee that it's listed the way it is in terms of attendance.
Okey-doke.
Move to approve.
All right, we had a motion to approve, nobody sees any other corrections, I wanna make sure before we go. Motion to approve minutes as mailed out. And I heard a second by Jared, Mike made the motion, Jared made the second. All in favor of the minutes as in our packet, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Thanks. Okay. Next item. And then here. All right. Lisa's off the hook, okay. So it looks like Mary's turn. Most of them like.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
First report that we'll be reviewing is our investment report. We do have one treasury bill that will mature the 2nd of September. We'll go ahead and reinvest. The rates at this time have slightly dipped. For a 6-month, we're at 4.98, and a 1 year is at 4.42. But I'd like to point out on our money market account, our rate has still stayed at 5.44%, which of course gives us the flexibility to transfer funds to our general fund when needed.
I like it. I like it.
And the CD rates are still pretty low?
They are.
In the market.
Yes.
Okey-doke.
Following report is our balance sheet. As you can see, Mr. Ivy, account number 11600, which is our account receivable other, we have a 0 balance. All invoices have been collected.
Hey, 1160 what?
0, which is not,
It's not even on there.
correct, because we
That's a
collect,
good thing.
that is a
Okay,
good thing.
great. All right.
On our net revenue report, I did provide an updated spreadsheet. The only thing that has been updated is our budget. When we had amended the budget in May, those numbers had not been reflected on the report.
Okay. Oh, okay. Dodged one.
So I noticed that you're on your 403003. That was one of the changes, right?
On our investment interest rate,
Yeah.
yes, I believe so, that's one of those
You
two.
went from 241 down to 130 on the positive ones. Negative 7. Now we're ahead of the budget. Remember.
We are ahead, we're at 83% on our revenue.
But the previous, you were not. That's what it is. How does that work? Revenue, investment, interest, that's the interest that's accumulated through all our money?
All our accounts to include the money market account.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, and speaking of that, Mary, so this sheet I have in my hand is the updated?
It's the updated, correct. And the only update is the column under budget
All the budget numbers
have been updated, correct. According to the approved amendment on April, when we had to come to you to approve an updated amendment to our budget.
Okay, so that's why the numbers changed, because you're right, everything in that line is different.
It's different
Yes.
from the budget side,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's why it's a little harder to read.
right.
So we're at 83% in receiving our revenues. We do have 2 pending invoices that will be issued out in September to El Paso Water for 1.7 and 84,000 for the drain maintenance as well.
Okay. So let's see here.
And that'll get us back to par, you think?
Yes,
Kind of, I mean, not in a good way, but it means, because right now it shows a net gain of $2.4 million.
we're short at this
We're
time
short on the revenue.
on the revenue. We've
Oh, we're
re-
short?
Yes,
Short,
correct.
2.4.
As of July, we received 12.2 million. Our proposed budget is 4.7.
Okay.
So what happened was that when we were mailed out, if you see the gain there was, the debit was 1.8.
Right.
It should have been 2.4.
2.4.
Wow.
Okay, because we were looking at the wrong numbers in our budget estimates, because we had changed that, like Mary said, a month or 2 ago.
Correct.
So the same thing carries through on the expense side.
The same as well.
Okay, so we're looking at different numbers.
And on
Mary
our,
did that, so I don't get to ask all my questions. But I'll make you, okay.
on the expense side, we are 74% of our budget.
Okay,
We do have 3 remaining months.
okay. So gentlemen, look at that a little bit, quickly here, see if you see anything that really draws your attention. Capital purchases at the end there on the expense, 61,500, so we bought something.
Correct. And we are in the process, with the upcoming month, we will be paying out about 1.4 million. We have received some mowers and some backhoes.
Okay.
Also, the 4 remaining vehicles that we were pending.
Okay. Well, okay, let's just, Nobody's buying lottery tickets or anything, so get that money in if we can. Okay. Anybody see anything else striking? Okay, Mary, go ahead.
Our following report is our $500 check report.
What's number 5? The Hercules.
Those are the locks.
Those are the locks?
The locks of the bottom district.
Now, that's quite a bit of locks, right? That replacement or
Yeah, as we need them,
as needed?
as needed.
Okay, because I've never seen,
The last order, I think, was
how long ago was that?
10 years ago, maybe?
10 years?
No, probably not that long, probably, I wanna say what, Larry, maybe a year, 2 years ago?
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Pete and the operations did an inventory, and there was a few locks missing on similar facilities, so we ordered some, and so, yeah, there was a slight savings if you ordered.
Funny.
So,
Okay.
and yeah, I believe we've been going to them pretty good. So yeah, they're in inventory. It took about 8 weeks to arrive, so they're on a delay. Yeah.
Mary, I have a question. I'm sorry, were you done?
No, go ahead, I got some more, but.
Oh, go ahead and finish.
No, go ahead.
All right. Just a quick reference, the computer software, we purchased it under the net revenue, under up to July, but then we have, I don't see it in the $500 report, but my question is, what was the software purchase for?
Is there a line item you
The line item is, computer under net revenue 60, I don't see it under $500 report, I thought I would see it there, but I didn't see it. 6114, computer hardware and software, on the net revenue.
Those are the invoice.
And it was, we purchased it, $4,900.
Are you referring to account 60301 or 60?
60201.
No, 60114.
It's line item. It's 64, 65, and 66 on the $500 check.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
What was that purchase for?
2 laptops for dispatch.
Oh, is that what that was?
And
Okay.
2 laptops for everything.
So you broke it out on the $500 report and then it was lump sum in the net revenue. That's why I can't make it out. Under the 60114 computer hardware software,
Right.
you have almost $5,000, so. All right,
On number 15, I use Bidwell's equipment. You found out you're getting better prices or
Yes,
a lot better prices than
Yes.
John Deere, right?
yeah, but he is limited on some of the stuff.
Who,
But yeah, but he does,
Bidwell?
yes, but he does give us a better price than,
Better pricing, yeah. Usually I've, in my experience, I've found more parts with him than a John Deere. You know, but I got older tractors, so maybe that's the reason. But, yeah, I'm glad to see we're using them, because I like their prices.
On number 1, Pete, is that truck that got stolen? The
Yes.
places that-
yes.
that's gonna get reimbursed, I'm assuming, by insurance?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Of course, he's real good. And I guess number 52 and 53, those are the mowers we got, Pete?
Yes, sir,
The ones with
yes, sir,
Those are just the attachments, yeah.
just the attachments, right?
yes.
That's it.
Pete, on 32, the jugs of death at USD, who is that? What company is that?
USD, it's actually the name of the company is USD.
They're here?
Yes, yeah, they're here local.
And so you may even check car parts, ever use them? I know we have to do, we have to go by certain guidelines for being a government entity, but they're typically really good on, I get all my oil, everything from them, and they are usually night and day cheaper than everybody.
Car parts on Texas?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't think they're in our
In our
vendors
buying
list,
pattern,
but
yeah.
we'll
That's what I
go out there
figured.
and put them on there.
back to 52 and 53 on the mowers, the attachments and so forth, were they part of our capital or
Yes.
equipment that we budgeted?
Yes.
Yes.
Are those two replacements or are they new?
They're brand new.
Replacing an older item on a tractor?
No, actually, these are on, they're installed on brand new tractors.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Did you get all your tractors in, Pete?
No, I'm still waiting on, 2 of the drain mowers to come in. I've gotten 2 in of the drain mowers and 1 of the smaller mowers.
We've got some photos for y'all here.
Oh, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah, we've got some, Pete's got them in the presentation, so
Those photos are nice to look
we'll
at.
get them for y'all here in a bit, you bet.
And if Larry's stuff is old tractors, mine must be antique because his stuff is all, his stuff is really mind-boggling there. I want to see that new stuff. Okay?
Question for our insurances. Is this a quarterly payment or is this?
You're referring to the Hub International payments?
Yeah, 59 to 63.
Those are quarterly payments, and that's the final for the end of the fiscal.
So my question is, how are they in relation to last year's? Did we go up 5%, 10%, or are we consistent, or, because those are big checks?
I mean, every year it's gonna climb a little bit, depending, like especially, yeah, the insurance.
Right.
And then, of course, like our workers' comp policy, it's all based on.
Right. If I could find out, what that difference is, I'd like to see a comparison
Yes, sir.
as to how much they're escalating or trending,
Okay.
so we can.
But last year, like, it's correct me if we decided to go out to bid just so we could test
Oh,
the
yeah.
market.
Okay.
And they actually, did they keep the same rate or did they?
Yeah, that was for our medical.
Oh, this is a
This is all commercial.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It went down on price a little bit.
On the medical, they did.
On the medical,
On the
last year,
they did.
we didn't have we had a rate pass.
Lisa went out for the, for a bid just to see what was out there. Keep them.
That was last year. But we'll be bringing that to the new budget.
No, I just wanted to stay vigilant on this, and at the end of the day, we know it's gonna go up, the question is how much, and we just wanna make sure that whoever's representing us is crossing every T and making sure we get every penny out.
Yeah, and then that's why we have a Hub International, it's a blanket,
Yeah,
so that's why we get the better rate.
okay, good deal.
Larry, anything else?
That's the old thing.
George?
No,
All right,
done.
Garrett? All right.
Bonds, our credit card report. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Robert, getting ready to go in the sunset, look at that hidden.
That's the delicious bread that we received board meeting.
All right, Mary, next one.
Final is our legal and consulting.
Legal, that, just so that you guys are aware of where the money's going on. Okey-doke. Well, that was relatively easy, Mary.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. All right, Rose. You or Sonia?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Our first item is the tax review report and adjustments. And there are no adjustments.
There are no,
No adjustments.
wow, okay.
Our next report for information purposes is El Paso Water, Water Valley Water District, and taxes. Any questions?
That's all good news on that. Don't let Lower Valley quit on us, we're doing pretty good. Yeah. Okay. And 11 suits are settled or closed?
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Our next report is a comparison of the 2022 tax assessment versus the 2023 tax assessment. The 2022 was at 96.45 for 1%. Right now, we're at 97.3996%.
Well,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Had a pretty good month. Okay.
Okay. Any questions?
Well, Rose, that's gotta be some sort of record too. I never get that easy on
We're still pushing. We're gonna
Okay.
get that number higher.
you. Yeah. You're gonna save up for next month.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Rose. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Rose.
Oh, yeah. Sonia. thank you. Okay. Jay,
Good morning.
good morning.
I just got one item before y'all, so just passed out a contract for consulting services with JP Stubbs. And this would be all regarding the Rio Grande Compact litigation issues. This are before you with amount not to exceed $500 per month.
Okey-doke. This is come because we would like to add Mr. Stubbs on as our consultant. It's a little contract here that Renee's been working on in Maria. And looks good to me. We've had one signed. This has got some small little editorial corrections, mostly just clean up the verbiage a little bit. So, we do need approval of this contract. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
So read that thing real quickly. This is so that Johnny, we can use Johnny as a consultant. Basically on the Supreme Court case,
Correct.
okay? Because we hate to lose that knowledge.
It's just gonna, this is gonna be on the, just on the Supreme Court case, or?
Yes.
It's on the Supreme Court case, and
Well,
there may be other matters that kind of come up that are related to that. Upstream storage issues that haven't been injected into the case yet, things like that, that may be later come into the case. And there's talk about that happening, so.
yeah, things that are ancillary.
It's
So,
not,
yeah.
we had to have a little looseness in it because you never know what's gonna end up in the case, and we didn't want somebody to say, well, that wasn't the case. You only said for the case as it was, not as it might be, and so there are all sorts of things, y'all know the history of this, that you start talking about the case, and somebody says, well, what does this do to this? We have to talk about that too, so it's just to make sure that he's allowed to talk about those things too. He doesn't make any decisions. He's just helping us
He's just
understand
gonna,
it.
he's just gonna consult it, but if we need in other areas consulting, there's no problem, right?
As long as they're ancillary to the
It
Supreme
has to
Court.
be related to the case
Right.
It's about the case.
Or
yeah.
branching off.
or branching
In
off
other
the
words,
case.
if we want to discuss the budget, and we don't need Johnny,
Right.
but we won't call Johnny on the budget or on
On the-
personnel decisions we make or anything like that.
Well, don't the lawyers, are you saying he knows more than you do?
No.
No. On the case?
No, he knows more about the district than we do in the history of this. He's been pretty valuable. Maria can speak for this too, but I'm more limited in time on this than Maria and anybody else, but, he just had such valuable history of the case. He's been on it since before the beginning of it. And he knows the history and the impact of things that come up in the case on the district. And he knows litigation because he's been so involved in it, that it's helpful to us. He doesn't make any of the legal decisions. He doesn't make any legal decisions. He can just help us interact and kind of serve as a go-between, so you don't have us speaking legalese to you sometimes when you don't have he would be a translator kind of some of this too. Maria, you may have something to add to that.
Yeah, I would just emphasize it really is on the category of kind of historical knowledge with regard to, going back, well before the Texas versus New Mexico litigation per se, but all the things that led up to that, right? The operating agreement litigation, the operating agreement case, because as we know, the Supreme Court case has become centered on, in essence, project operations and the operating agreement. And all the history that in fact led up to the dispute with regard to the operating agreement, it's really kind of just one big ball of wax that's, now under the umbrella of, let's just say, Rio Grande Compact / operating agreement, project operations issues that we feel we would benefit from Johnny's historical knowledge. Yeah, it's not per se, certainly on the kind of legal analysis or issues as opposed to how history and things done or not done can help inform our, legal understanding and analysis. So, I think it's historical knowledge and understanding, both of the district and the project.
And it wouldn't be a daily thing. He wouldn't be involved having to read every pleading that comes in, stuff like that. It would just be, when something's happened in the case, y'all aren't in a board meeting, Johnny is there, we can talk with him and get his insights on it, have a conference call. I don't know, it could be once a month, it could be once every 2 months, it could be once a week if things get hot and heavy in the case. So it's just to help us.
That's what number 5 says.
It's to help the board because it's a consultant. We still have to make all the decisions, the board.
He's
Right.
been in it since.
Yeah, and I should say, it's to help us, it's to help y'all.
You've been in it and you know all these things since it started as well.
I don't know as much as Johnny, no, because he has more of the historical of how we got here and why we got to the operating agreement. And he was actually in on the negotiating of the operating agreement, which I was not. I was on the board to approve it at that time.
So this is.
He won't be taking anybody's place.
Yeah.
He's additional helper. Pretty cheap too, I think.
Yeah, and, it indicates in paragraph 2 that, consultant shall provide input as requested. And then, so in terms of, when we feel that we require, that kind of input, and then, as we're all articulating, and I think the contract is clear, this is not any kind of decision-making role, this is just,
No, the board doesn't make all.
Right, well, number 5 says it all. Only if he's working that month or whatever.
Right.
Number 5. Oh,
Yeah, number 5.
So this is just basically, just an
A
insurance.
consultant.
This is insurance, it's just added information, because we're taking on a lot of information that goes back 30+ years, that he has privy information, because he was hands-on during that. And I get it, and I think that's very important. But we gotta be very careful when we start providing consultants, because if it morphs into something else, we have to be very clear that an amendment to this is done or something to that effect. I know it's only a $500 cap, but I'm sure that we just got to be careful that it doesn't continue or abuse our situation where he provides his consulting on Mary's department or Jay's department or whatever. I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying it can, because over time we get lax.
well, remember, we're gonna make final decision.
It can't under this thing, it can't expand into what you're talking about, I mean, somebody would have to come back and have a new contract and say, hey, we want to add on something, that's not in the works as far as I know, y'all would know that. This contract is just about this, and if he started advising about, he has no role to play in advising about Mary's work.
Right.
None.
Right. I was just being.
It's got the terms and conditions, and any amendment of any modification, to this particular one that's sitting before y'all will come, it'll be placed on the agenda for y'all's consideration.
Yeah, by all means, I totally agree. I mean, the Supreme Court, that's the serious business.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve it for this,
Yeah.
because it's not, I mean,
We have a
he's
motion.
very knowledgeable on that stuff.
Second.
We got a motion to approve it by Jarrett, second by Mike. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Right.
Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Okey dokey. Next item. Jay, are you through?
That was it?
Was that
Yes,
it?
then we've got some manuals down, a little bit further down on
We'll
the
put it on
agenda.
down here.
Yes.
All right, let me get this, let me catch up here. Mr. Engineer report, Al, what you got? You wanna discuss any of that? Or you let,
Sure, I thought that, Jay can you put the screen up that I'm sharing?
Oh,
there it is.
it was hidden behind the other one.
Huh.
There we go.
So I haven't really gone through this with, and I'm gonna be fairly quick, and we could probably do a workshop on this, but I just wanted, especially with a new board member on board, to understand that, there's a team, Robert's, River team, plus, Lori Duarte work has been, is very key to this, and then I do primarily quality control and the equations. So we have a spreadsheet, but it's a system of measurements that we bring in for approximately a total in the calculation is about 100 different metering stations are involved. And we measure the flow every 15 minutes, so there's hundreds of thousands of data points that go into our calculations each month on our allocation charges. And it's a dynamic system according to the operating agreement. It adapts. For example, when EPCWID starts diverting water at the east side and the west side canals, we have to change our accounting methods because now previously, we're the only ones using those canals, so we pay for all the losses in the canals. And once they're on board sharing the canal with us, then the calculation of those losses are done differently and distributed differently. Same thing occurs at other locations in the river. So if you guys can see that, that's the summary sheet that is based on just the very top of it. If you go down, as I'm scrolling down, you'll see that we have all the critical metering stations that go into this that end up with our charges. In this case, for June, the total amount of water that our allocation was charged was 42,324. Our previous use was 93,758, and for a total of 136. It takes the full month to do these. We have to get information from EPCWID and from Reclamation to do it, so we're the last one, since that makes sense, since we're downstream. One of the tables that goes into these calculations, did that change, Jay, where you're looking at the CFS table, is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, so this is a very big table, but this is only a summary. For every point that's in this table, every data point, there's hundreds of measurements and keeping it calibrated too. Not only the devices that measure it continuously, but we go out at some of these places almost every day and calibrate them. And Robert's team does that. So I just want you guys to realize that it is a huge and complex engine that we run to do these charges. We've been doing this since 2008 with this spreadsheet. It's well understood. And then this goes forwards on to Reclamation and to EPCWID. We also have to analyze our waste, how much water we spill, and depending on how that waste was created, for example, if it's arroyo water or if it's for no fault on our part, it's an upstream spill that's coming through the system, then there's an accounting system that's in itself pretty complicated that determines how we split that project waste with EPCWID or any waste associated with Mexico. And so all this is defined in the operating manual to the operating agreement, and this spreadsheet is actually part of that agreement. And so and of course Robert can talk to it. He lives by it with me. He does the quality control after I finish up my work on it. but it's been fairly smooth since we established this many years ago. But I just wanted the board to understand that it's a team of people that work on this continuously, every day, 7 days a week. We measure obviously continuously, 24 hours a day, and all those attached and referenced into this spreadsheet is a series of other spreadsheets and calculations that are done by the river team. So it's pretty monumental in terms of the size of the whole thing. I know that was a lot of information, short period of time. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have, or if anybody wants us to set up a workshop, it's probably what it really takes is some time where you could sit down and look at the operating agreement and then look at the spreadsheet and see how we do everything. But it's, Robert, do you have any comments?
No, it's like you said, it's just a lot of details, because I've been teaching Enrique how to do it, and like Al said, I have to take with numbers from EPCWID and then the boundary and then the bureau to get everything to match to Al. One good thing about it right there, I always get like a report card for the operation, what we order, what we get delivered, and I think just at the end of there, Al, well, we're almost at 100% delivery. What we ordered, we get delivered. So I would say that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Even though we do have spills and there's all sorts of reasons for that, changes in water and the river fluctuates a lot, our overall project efficiency is extremely high. In other words, if you look at the total amount of water released and the total amount of water spilled, it's a very, we're in the 95 to 98% range. So it's that speaks, and that's up to Robert. Robert's the one that has to adjust his orders and get people to come on. And then, of course, there's the opposite of that, is things we fight against is shortages. But it is somewhat of a roller coaster that we get into the system. And I'm amazed at how great of a job the water department has done.
Yeah. This is in response basically to the 2008 operating agreement?
This is part of the 2008 operating agreement. This spreadsheet that you have up on the screen is actually defined in that agreement.
Okay, and so EPCWID is doing something similar, right?
Yes, they have a series of spreadsheets. They're not identical to ours, but they do serve the same purpose.
Okay. So, but they give you the numbers that are relevant to our side, correct?
Yeah, some of these, the ones that are shaded are calculated numbers. The ones that don't have any shading are inputs. So we have, like New Mexico's order, we have to know how much water they're ordering and how much we're ordering to be able to just decide if there's any waste or spill, who gets charged what.
Okay.
And that's what Robert's talking about. All that information goes in. And then New Mexico meters some of their information that goes into ours. And the Boundary Commission helps us too, Samantha's group. We've just recently, the Boundary just put in a flow measurement device on the American Canal a few years back that we've been working with extensively this year. Very impressive. It's a concrete structure, but it's designed by computer to provide a very accurate flow measurement. And so far it's, we have about 150 flow measurement sites total in the project. And this new site that the Boundary built is the most accurate site. Caballo is pretty accurate, but as far as the actual physical site, this is the most accurate site down the entire. It's very impressive that we're able to measure, statistically we have to do some math to it, but we're able to measure within 1%, and that's fairly unheard of, and our project's able to achieve the efficiencies we are doing because we can actually measure the flow to that precision. But that is a huge. Even from sending 2 or 3 people out in the middle of a storm, to keep that accuracy is what it takes. And so Robert's team is pretty impressed with the river team. Because Robert and I will call them up and send them out at 4 in the morning at times just to try to get a more accurate reading of what we have to deal with.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
So EPID's numbers, do we get access to theirs or they keep those in-house? We see.
No, it's all
And
the
they see
operating
ours,
agreement.
right? Okay,
Yeah, the operating agreement is a total shared,
okay.
all information is shared at all sides. If we all have telemetry, it's all public. The telemetry is preliminary, because it's coming in real time. And then we go back and analyze that on a monthly basis to improve the accuracy. And then I do things, I do this, the calculus is my specialty. So I do the statistical analysis and the calculus that's necessary. This sheet here is complicated, but it's one we put in where we compare multiple measurement sites. It's called a mass balance sheet. And for example, for this year, this is at the American Canal plus the whole El Paso Valley. We're balancing out within 0.4%. So that's incredible. But that doesn't happen by accident. That happens by a lot of hard work, including having somebody out on a metering bridge during a dust storm. So we really want to thank Robert's people and the Boundary Commission and Reclamation.
Yes.
Al, how does this relate to, we're pretty efficient, but to the lining of the canal? Is this nothing, would that have any effect at all? Or is that something?
No, this is river level, big picture type stuff. This is our allocation charges. Once the water is in our system, that's, Robert has a bunch of spreadsheets that he does in terms of our internal efficiency.
Okay.
This is our project level efficiency.
Okay.
And so Robert can answer that question much better than me.
Okay, that's a different story. We can deal with that later. I was just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I do measurements of seepage so we can estimate how much we save by lining. And they vary from location to location, but it's pretty significant. I mean, the work on the riverside that we've been doing is the most critical. That's why we set a priority on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of conservation there is, of course, that has to do with our internal, what we call our delivery efficiency. This is our district level or hydrologic efficiency. So, but yeah, we could do a workshop on that one for a couple of days too. I mean, there's a lot of spreadsheets that Robert uses to keep track of every unit, every canal system within every unit, and then of course all of our wasteways we monitor.
Very good.
And I'll leave it there and turn it over to Robert if he's next.
Yeah, he is. Robert, you gonna turn over to Enrique?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Again.
That's okay.
Still wants to stick around.
So how you doing learning the ropes? Doing okay? You got a hard act to follow, so you better learn, you gotta learn all you can.
Yeah, I was introduced to that program or that analysis this year, and it's intimidating, but we're getting there.
Okay, all right.
But no, we're working through it. A little bit of history. This time last year, from March 1st to today, we delivered 138,000 acres. And same time this year, we've delivered 189,000 acres. So a difference of 50,000, more this year.
A lot more planning.
Yeah. And currently, our acres right now, we're working on about 5,000 acres currently. We're getting water right now. And from here to the weekend, we've got about 5,000 acres still pending. And for next week, we still got 6,000. So those continue to come in. Okay. And I know a couple of weeks back, we had a few rains and it kind of set everybody back a little bit, so we had to hold back our water a little bit. And, but we're going through, we're getting some water, delivering water. And, now we're getting towards, the end of our season. And I know you've all received our target dates, if you had a chance to take a look at that. So now we're proposing if we can, a last date to order would be September 17th. And everybody must be ready by the 20th of September. And especially unit 6 and 7, they need to be watered out before the 26th of September. And we're proposing to close the dam on September 28th, on Saturday.
Is that the same date that we've had? Robert?
No, last year we ran into October,
Yeah.
but
Well,
this
he's
year,
mentioning extra water. Said that rain helped.
it didn't help the dam. It didn't help the dam.
Oh, it didn't help the dam, I know, but, okay. Because I'm thinking, you know, that October 1 is, cotton for sure shouldn't need it. I mean, I know people are irrigating their cotton later than they used to, but.
When do you think, excuse me, when do you think you're gonna finish your irrigating cotton?
I'm gonna get it another time, so mid-September.
Yeah.
Probably second week of September.
Mid-September should do it.
There'll still be plenty of water, Art, for October. Don't worry.
Okay.
There'll still be
Because, I
plenty-
mean,
There'll still be plenty
the
of
cotton
water.
guys are generally almost need that extra week in October.
There'll still be plenty of water.
Yeah, we'll still be running return flow
Okay.
till about October the 24th.
Okay. If you think you'll have enough for us, the cotton guys.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Robert's gonna stay another year, right?
Yeah, he's gonna.
Jared, behave.
Okay.
But, yeah, if you're okay with this, and we can send it out.
All right. Got it.
So last date order is the 17th?
That's for September 17th.
You guys, Larry, especially Unit 8, Unit 9, not so much because we still got the return flows. The Unit 7, Unit 6 that we have to really worry about because
Yeah.
if we cut the dam off, it's out. There's no Megana.
And we got the lakes full, right?
We're trying.
Just kidding.
Full of people fishing.
Making nervous.
Now we gotta keep the people from fishing there.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're catching 5-pounders out of there now.
What?
Yeah, and we're not even stocking it.
No, because it came out of the dam, yeah.
And they're better than hideaway lakes.
But we're gonna put some picnic tables out there.
Right. Cottonwood trees and picnic tables.
Yeah.
No.
That's all I got.
You're fixing to find out why Hudspeth put up all those signs.
Okay.
All right, Enrique.
Thanks, Enrique.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a good idea. Let's see. Pete? I didn't skip you today. That's good.
Now you complain? Now you complain?
Did you see that up? Renee?
Renee?
I get to see it on the TV monitor on your.
Yeah, that's part.
Oh, okay, let me share the screen. Yeah, let me share the screen. Hold on.
Yeah. If it's only gonna be pictures of big tractors, I can see it from here, otherwise.
We're good?
Sorry, Maria, that's the only one.
Okay.
You don't have like a walk around video really goes into detail?
Don't give him any ideas.
You know what it took to get to this point?
Usually it's 100. I think it's like 50 today.
We're good? There?
Yeah, when you put that in the
Oh, where's the? Is it the pointer? Oh, they're doing it.
Yes. Okay, good morning, first of all.
Oh, he can do it.
Is that working now? Ooh, Jay?
That's it. No, that's not it. Is that it? No, that's not it.
That's right there by the microphone.
It should be down there now.
Oh, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
I can see.
You want to stand here right from it? Okay, so we've received two of these 6135 tractors. These are our drain mower tractors. We've received two already, and we're still waiting on two more to come in. We have received the other smaller tractor, which is a 6120. That's for our delivery system, so that's already out in the field and working. This one here, I'm waiting on GPS to be put on it, then it'll be going out, so I'm hoping by next week it should be out in the field already, doing some mowing. These tractors were bought for the drain maintenance, drain maintenance. So they will be going to the west side, and two will remain down here towards the town area. So these are 30-foot booms on them. Okay, a little bit of work that we did up the west side. This is right behind our Canoteo yard. So we went out there and we actually had to get on the levee to clear out all the debris behind our yard there, because getting a lot of rodents in our yard there. These are the tractors that those green ones will be replacing. We will keep these as spares. That way, if a tractor goes down, I can get my guys to jump on one of the old tractors and keep mowing, because that's one of our biggest issues, is we fall behind in our mowing. And you guys probably see this out there.
Those old ones have the same reach as the new
Yes,
ones
sir.
that we're getting?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the difference is that these were Fords with Tiger mowers. The ones we got are John Deere's with Diamond mowers. We've had better luck with the Diamond than we have with the Tiger. And then some of the work being done up on the city drains, or our drains, but within the city of El Paso. Next couple of pictures shows you some of the west side and some down here in the valley. This right here, right behind, right below America's Enemy. That's the check we were talking about yesterday, Jay.
Oh, okay, on the Mesa? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Al said it was there. I didn't realize. Okay, good.
And these right here, next pictures are from the drains that are out of the city limits. This is up there by W. Silver. I showed you some pictures last week, or last month, on some of the work that's going into this area here.
Did they clean everything for you?
They got the majority done. I'm thinking they should be done here within the next week or so, and they will be able to go in there and do everything from, pretty much from this bridge all the way down to the levee. And I have contacted the boundary. I've talked to David Madrid, and he'll be doing the section that pertains to the boundary. It's kind of some before and after pictures. There's a couple of our little washouts that we have. This one here had a water line running in the bottom of it. On these washouts, I usually go in there and I'll repair any washouts that any water user might have, maybe once or twice. After 2 times, they gotta fix their own washouts, or I'll bill them for the washouts.
Was that water or sewer?
I think it's water in it, isn't it?
Which drain is it?
The middle drain, right upstream from Alameda.
It's blue.
Alameda.
It's a blue pipe, so I'm thinking it's water.
Oh, so
Water, yeah, there's both, parallel to the tracks, and on Alameda, it's a water line, no, yeah, that's water. But yeah, parallel to the tracks upstream, there's both.
So there, it's already been repaired. And then some, little bit of growth. This is up there by Stevens, like right below Copia. Robert started, complaining that he wasn't getting a good meter, and his telemetry was off because of all this growth. So we've gone in there and kind of cleaned everything out. And let me tell you, gentlemen, these areas are very tricky because you're very limited on the room you have and the traffic. There's some digging on the T2, or grading on the T216. Some mowing. Tornillo Canal, we're still working on digging out the Tornillo Canal. This is right upstream from the 1041. You can see the difference on the channel there. You can see the berm that's being removed from the Tornillo. This is right there by Chet 16 by Hideaway Lakes. So there's about a good 5-6 feet of berm being removed. And then we continue to haul dirt from these areas that we dug out a couple of months back. So we're cleaning up our canals and also raising banks that need to be raised. This is the area right there above Bowman on the Isla. That's the same location. And then of course on the Hanson. And then of course some more. This is over on the Bowman. As you can see, we can't even get through that left bank anymore because of the bamboo. That thing grows faster than we can cut it down. And then a couple of problems with the winds. And then Border Patrol has reached out to us, and this sand here is what we dug out prior to water season. It's all this sand that we piled against the riverside. We haven't had a chance to go and remove it, so they offered to assist us in removing some of the sand. And of course we said yes, so here it is where they're out there removing some of the sand.
Are they gonna send us a bill?
So thank you.
The question is the bill coming?
No.
Yeah, they're using it.
That's
Can you
good.
tell them where other spots are that we might need their help?
Well,
Mr. Brooks, he's sitting back here, you tell him.
Great.
yeah, so they were using some of the sand, but you know, it's gonna be a slow process because there is just so much of it. So I think we're gonna have to go in there just coming in this winter and probably finish it up because there's just so much of it.
That's a Border Patrol dump truck?
Yes.
I've never seen.
All
a
this
dump truck.
equipment belongs to Border
I like that. Now we know where to outsource this
Patrol.
in an emergency.
They're not cheap. Okay, then a couple of problems here on the Franklin Canal. These, it seems that, you know, when something happens, it's a chain reaction. This is right upstream from Davis on the Franklin Canal. And it happens right before small tracks. So we had to go in there and kind of knock it out in 2 days.
What happened? Was that a car hit it or something?
No, what's happening is they're breaking from the pipe itself.
Oh.
And they just fall over.
Just years and years of.
Yes, these are very old head walls.
Is this the one that crosses Alameda through the Bronco area?
Yes, yes, right at Davis, where you said high school. So there's the new turnout going in. There's the finished results. We still gotta go back and put some concrete wing walls. We ran out of time because of the water situation. And then this is right upstream of Davis. And you can see the head wall, how it's leaning over. And that's when we pulled it out, it came out in pieces.
Are the Canaleros, are they observing this as time goes by and identifying concerns that way you can project?
Yeah, well, what they do is they place work orders, and then right before the end of water season, Robert and they could do a thing to where they get the senior and let him travel his unit and identify any problems that might be out there, so we can try to address them during winter maintenance. So that's the one on the downstream side. And of course, I ran out of hit walls. The demand for hit walls this year has been tremendous. So we ran out of hit walls, so I've got a crew out there building some more hit walls. Kind of just show you the process of what it takes to build these hit walls. And then I continued working on the ponds. The ponds, I've already got a turnout set up. that we've taken there to the ponds. I'm just waiting for a little window to go in there and break the channel open so I can go and place the new head wall in, do our concrete work, and then we can start filling up this second pond. That's all I got, gentlemen. Any questions for me?
Very good. Ponds or lakes, Larry and I like lakes.
Lakes.
We're getting there, Larry.
Especially if they're fishing there.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Pete. Thank you, Larry.
Pedro.
Thank you, Pedro.
Okey dokey, I think. Let's see, Sharon? Are you gonna do the subdivision? Okay.
The first one is application 3374 by Colorado Building Company. It's for Masood Acres, Unit 1. This one is brought to you for a modification. And the modification was the 25.
On subdivision, they needed to include a 25-foot easement for El Paso Water for, to access a water line that's there, so they replatted the subdivision to include that new 25-foot easement for El Paso Water, so theoretically, there was one lot that changed, but in order for us to have the same plat that's reflecting as approved with the city or the county, they said that we require them to submit to us the irrigable land, revised irrigable land exhibit as well.
Well, where is this?
It's on the upper valley out of the Strahan Road.
Right,
At
Strahan.
Borderland.
Borderland Strahan. I'll show you here.
Okay, and that
Yeah,
was,
I know where that one is.
that was the only modification, right?
Yes.
They hadn't built anything there yet.
Move to approve.
Second, there a motion to approve by Mike, second by Larry. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. All right, we approved it, but you might as well show it to us.
Yes,
The only modification was to help public service.
Yeah, to that first.
No, that's
page,
the water,
right
they
there.
call it, so,
yeah,
Right in there.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, that one right by the, oh,
yes, this guy.
right.
Yeah, but when they first did it, they didn't know the PSB had a water line. Probably.
I don't know,
Or they
they-
forgot to.
They
Yeah.
just, yes,
Or
they added the easement, and I don't know, there's a 25-foot, fire as well that they need access, so I think that was the driver. There was no way for the
All right,
fire engine to get in there. I don't know, they dropped the ball now.
all right. Sharon, go ahead.
The next one is application 3510 by Victoria Castillo and Cecilia Castillo for Sellado subdivision. Licensing has reviewed this application and recommends it for approval. And this one is also off of Strahan Road in the Upper Valley.
Okay. I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Larry made a motion. George seconds. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Very good, but you're not off the hook.
We have two applications by Intercity FiberNet at various
Is it tab 13?
locations. And licensing has reviewed these applications and recommends them for approval. And these are for subsurface fiber optic cable system at various locations.
Move to approve.
That's for both of them, right?
For both of these.
There's one of the south side feeder and one of the front, it's coming down the loop.
All right, Mike made a motion. Larry seconds. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Anyone opposed, same sign.
And then we have number 20, which is the approval of the proposed revision to the district licensing manual. And I did email you, all of you, a copy of the,
Okay, we're down to tab 20. Oh, yeah, okay. We did receive copy. Did any of you guys read that?
Talking about the 38-page job?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes. So
Took me a few
significant
nights.
upgrade
But,
yeah. We added some stuff, a few more details just to, so the applicants have no questions after reading the manual. It's, the details, and then we all work together, and then with Renee and Dr. Blair, and, yes, this hopefully, clarifies a lot of stuff, we make big questions, but, you know, just, and some fees, we increased the, application fees as well, so that'll help.
Yeah, the main thing that I noticed was an increase in the other fees with the inflation going on.
Yes.
And you made a clearer delineation between the different types of applications. sound
Yes,
like,
yes.
Right? Okay. I hope you all got to read it. If you didn't, what do you think?
Wish I was shorter.
Shorter. I breezed through it, but how often is this deal updated? Is any questions I
So,
wrote down?
the last.
The last
Go ahead.
page has an update.
The last page?
Yeah, there was a revision.
The very last page of the manual has all the updates, all the schedule of updates.
Page 40.
To page 40?
39 and 40.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
So there's been
So
various.
basically, it's just
18,
like,
19.
I'm sorry. I see it's just language, just versions and,
The last major one was 2010, but, so there's been upgrades throughout the last 14 years. Well, 19, I think, was the last one, and yeah, so we've been adding stuff since then. But all the revision dates are there, noted in that. And they've all come before.
On that big chunk of them about surveying, do we have our in-house surveyors, or we just have engineers that check the surveyor that they hired?
Yes, the latter. We have a GPS unit that Dr. Blair has designed, and we just deployed it. And we go and revise and make sure that the surveyors that are constructing, the contractors that are constructing a project, we check that their surveyors are correct on the elevation in our facility. So we go and double check anything before they start putting anything in the canal. So, and we'll revise it throughout the construction project, we're involved directly. So, but yes, we do have our own unit. We don't have a licensed surveyor, but you know, it reads the elevations, and we've gone through training with Dr. Blair. And
So you're just verifying what they're telling us? That's all we need?
yes, we don't
That's
take
all.
their word for it. Yeah, so we go verify ourselves, and we shoot our benchmark. We've got various brass caps, monuments with stamped elevations throughout the district, so.
Yeah, I'd explain that in
Yes,
there.
so yes, we go verify, basically to ensure that if they're placing, pipe, or they're doing a bridge or a culvert, that they put it at the invert elevation, the bottom elevation of the design grade. That's the most important. If they don't set a culvert a foot or two high, and then we start backing up water and breaking out, so. And then the banks are at where they need to be. So, yeah, there's a extensive process when they start a project, so we're involved in every single one.
from the engineering side and practical, I've noticed that there's some various sketches. They're still consistent as the previous manual?
Yes, there was a few upgrades, but yeah, they're essentially the same standards. And we've got a 200-page set of construction specifications that we add to their projects. That they, yeah, I mean,
You got down to
the
something.
TechStop spec book,
Yeah.
we have ours.
Okay.
And so those are the simple ones, and then they go into much further detail with the specifications, the book that we've got.
So, reference to a freestanding bridge, we still look at 1 foot, basically?
The
under-
freeboard, 1 foot minimum, freeboard from the bottom of the beam, but we ask for a 2 foot, so on the wing walls and whatnot, we have the top of the wing walls is 2 feet above the high water mark, so we go through all that.
Is that what's changing this time around?
No, that's been the same, the 1 foot freeboard from the bottom of the beam,
Okay.
that stayed the same.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just 4,000 PSI concrete from 3,000.
Yeah, I think we had some clarifications on the scale, and we upped the concrete because of problems we've had with the, if we spec 4,000 and it comes in at 3,500 on the test, and we'll still be able to accept it, so we set a little higher, amount of cement in the mix. And that's about it, really. The steel was a clarification that they could do it with either number 4s or number 5s, right, Jay?
Right.
How did that bridge, ultimately, how did it come out? The one that's right across Coral High School? Seems like a
Oh,
relatively.
fantastic. The Rio
It came
Vista?
out really
Yes,
good.
they did a very good job. They are waiting on, so there's a pedestrian bridge that they removed. They are waiting to complete that. So they haven't opened the street yet, but everything, the transitions on our banks, we've got concrete driveways, there's no sidewalks. Yeah, they did a very good job, concrete line the channel. They'll be starting at Bovee, November 1. November 1, there's gonna be the same design, so it's a little bit further downstream. That removes that vertical curve right off Alameda, all the buses, their
So you
bumpers
don't-
hit and
yeah.
whatnot, so.
Yeah, emergency vehicles
Yes.
or whatever they can get.
So they'll be starting on that, but the bridge itself, for the vehicles is completed. They need to do a pedestrian one, and there's a problem with the gas line, so they're holding up on
Now, which crossing was this?
that. Rio Vista in Alameda, right by the Walmart on Alameda
Okay,
Square.
all right.
They made a new bridge.
But you're gonna have on that Franklin, nearly all of those are like this, so you're gonna.
Yes.
Their plan is to,
Right, knock them all out, so they start at Rio Vista, and then they're working their way downstream.
okay.
But Passmore is in the works, I think it's
Passmore
in
will be
design
next.
right now, but so Bovee is a little bit.
That's bad.
That's one of the worst.
That's the whole reason my granddad sold that farm, we couldn't get tractors
Yeah,
up that hill.
yes.
Well, that's a cleaner bridge, I mean, so it seems to be.
Yeah,
nicer-
no,
nicer.
that was a goal to remove the vertical curve, so they raised the bank and we lowered that. So with the freespan bridge, we don't have to put in a box culvert, so that as far as flow wise, it works great. They concrete line 400 linear feet of the channel. Did a real good job. So they've got Bovee next, and then so there's like Vineyard and Passmore that are lacking, and so Coral's working on. TechStop provided some of the funding, so that it came out really, really well.
Great, that sounds good. All right, any other questions on the revised,
I got something here, as I was breezing through it, because I didn't have time to read it thoroughly, but I'm sure with Robert not here, I'm sure he would understand this. On the community ditches, which I think affects, I guess, me and Miguel the most.
Yeah.
So we have the authority to lock them out if there's a problem, even disagreements, I guess, right?
That's our entire involvement, and we get the calls. Let's go with every other day, but
Well, Kathy's the enforcer, so
Yeah,
basically, you don't need her, it's shut down.
we unlock the turnout and we go lock the turnout. We don't open,
Done.
we don't get involved with the irrigation or anything, so that's the extent of the involvement of the district. And if they can't get along and work it out amongst themselves, then it remains locked.
Okay, and then the other question I had, I know it had various types of pipes, corrugated metal and all that stuff for the drains that they request to be put in, like putting access to their property.
Sure.
Like you know where I'm talking about there on Upper Valley, just across from, on Upper Valley Road, that gets to their property, they have no easement in there, so that one old lady.
Yes, put it over it.
So we have guidelines, that's what this is all about, it says
Yes.
here's standards, so.
No,
How
absolutely.
come some of them are, so we have to approve whether it's the corrugated or the square, what's it called, culvert?
Culvert, box culvert, yes, we provide specifications, so we've got different farmers crossings, and then we've got, obviously, there's gonna be a highway, that's gonna be a city street or county road, and obviously those are different through either specifications from the Federal Highway Administration and the city standards, but as far as farmers crossings or into residential, we spec out the gauge, 12 gauge pipe, and make sure they don't put stuff
And
that's in the road.
they pay to have that.
Yeah, they
put in
pay,
there.
absolutely.
And we have set prices, that's the only last
Yes.
question I have, so the set prices are based on,
Pete puts together an estimate of material and labor and hours and machinery, and so it's itemized, and we provide them an estimate if it's something that's.
That's case per case, right?
Yeah, it depends how wide they want, so they all vary, but yeah, we put a proposal together. with material, labor, and equipment, and, you know, we hand it to them, if they're good with it, we
And if
move
it
forward.
plugs up or something, then that's on us.
No, that's on them, they have to get a license, they have to get a license.
I know, but let's say it's approved, they put it in, it gets plugged up for some reason and breaks, it's on them? Still?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Well, if it plugs
Any
up on
question?
our canal side, it's us, but I mean.
That's what I mean.
Any license, so all the licenses that you see here, it's written the license, the maintenance, and their responsibility to ensure that the flow is not impeded in any way, shape, or form. So, it's their responsibility, city streets, county roads, TxDOT, all the state roads, it's their responsibility to make sure those culverts are cleaned out. If we have to go in there, we will ask them nicely, once, and then we'll go in there and clean it and send them a bill. Second time.
I'll teach them a lesson.
Yeah, no, pretty compliant.
It shouldn't happen often.
No, it doesn't.
But all in all, not much has changed in this thing.
No,
really.
it's a clarification and, added a few details, but they're well aware. That's been online, so it's been online for many years, so yeah, mainly the increase on the, application fees and other fees associated with, different submittals, high pressure gas lines and whatnot.
And the dewatering, those developers, that's a set thing. Is it based on time, right?
So, there's a fee for discharge, so there's a different dewatering manual and license, so that's separate from that. But, yeah, so they have to adhere by, the specifications and the requirements, they have to submit monthly testing, and so there's a stringent set of, instructions for them.
Good deal.
That's it, Mr. President. Any more questions about that manual? If not, Chair will entertain a motion to approve or disapprove. Anybody?
Mr. President, I move to accept this.
All right,
Standard.
Doris made the motion, we approve
I'll second
the revisions to the district licensing manual. Larry seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Same sign. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, with that, let's see here, I think we have closed session coming up, so let's take a little 5-10 minute break, all right? We'll be back here in about 5 minutes.